America Meditating Blog Talk Radio Show. We collect wisdom, hear stories, and inspire each other. I'm Sister Jenna. Tune in live from Monday through Friday at 8 a.m.
Mr. Rogers passed along friendship, hoping we would too. Friendship, pass it on, from the Foundation for a Better Life at Values.com.
I'm Ivy Hilton, and you are listening to America Meditating Radio Show.
A clear mind. Taking just a minute, I turn my attention inwards. I silently observe my thoughts. Each thought a ripple on the surface of a lake. I gently remind myself I am like that deep, tranquil lake. As my mind touches tranquility, I allow calmness to wash over me, clearing the mind, returning me to my true peaceful nature. I allow peace to flow into my actions.
Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, where there is darkness, where there is sadness, joy.
Welcome to America Meditating Radio. I'm your host, Sister Jenna, and we're broadcasting from the beautiful Meditation Museum in Tyson's Corner. Isn't that a beautiful song by Sarah McLachlan? To make me an instrument of your peace, where your mind, your thoughts in your mind, and your words and your actions, whether it's playing tennis or sitting with a group of youths, or changing civilization from the top, you're able to really make peace on the planet in whatever way possible. So we are really looking at how we can begin to enhance ourselves and overcome adversities. I don't think anyone listening on this conversation will ever say, I've not had a challenging moment in my life. It's almost as if challenges it comes in like a disguise of a gift to reveal to us strengths and talents that were hidden in our subconscious, and we are blessed by some of them. Stay tuned. We're going to have the wonderful Georgia-h-Goslee, and she is so passionate about helping folks navigate through life from their complexities. So hold on, and we're going to get her on the air in just about a minute or so. And after our meditation, we will definitely invite Georgia to come and talk to us about how to overcome obstacles in life. Ready? Take a deep breath. Inhale. Take it easy on yourself. Step into your light within.
Inner light. Taking just a minute, I relax my body and become aware of my inner light. I visualize each one of my thoughts weaving itself into this light. I draw from my heart the power of inner peace and the light of love. My thoughts are filled with compassion and forgiveness, patience and tolerance.
Welcome back. That was Love and Gratitude by Kristen Hoffman and Inner Light Meditation CD, Knowing Myself by Sister Genty. You're listening to America Meditating, and I'm your wonderful host, Sister Jenna. We're at the Meditation Museum in Tyson's Corner, and we always love seeing you here. Today we're happy to welcome Georgia-h-Goslee, who is passionate about helping people navigate the complexities of the law life and longevity. As a high school dropout and teenage mother who turned her life around to become a highly sought-after lawyer, federal prosecutor, and television personality, Georgia knows precisely what it's like to have the odds stacked against you and just what it takes to get your life back on track. Early in her legal career as a partner in a Baltimore law firm, Georgia distinguished herself as a sought-after trial lawyer. She subsequently served as an Assistant U.S. attorney advisor to the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights, and Chief Contracts Compliance Officer to the City Solicitor of Baltimore City. Georgia has more than a decade of live television experience as a host and debate panelist, and she has provided legal commentary on high-profile cases on network and cable. Today, we're happy to welcome my dear friend Georgia. Hey, how are you?
Good morning, Sister Jana. How are you?
Good morning. Rise and shine. It's going to be a great day.
Oh, yes. It is a day that the Lord has made, and we should praise Him.
There you go, and that's all we can do. You know, your life is phenomenal, and I think that for many individuals who are looking to be inspired, motivated, and encouraged to not give up and to overcome their adversities, I think your life story is a powerful one. I know that you have risen your life from a lot of odds, and yet you had fortune, too. So it was quite, I don't know if the word is polarizing, but what a contrasting life of having everything and yet encountering a lot of things such as being a teenage mother, such as dropping out of school, and yet something within you still drove you to climbing up the ladder of life. What is it that gave you your inner drive, Georgia, and determination to make something more of Georgia-h-Goslee?
Well, it's an amazing experience, this life that we live. And when I reflect back on my early childhood, because I was literally, 16, 17, having 1 and 2 kids, and I knock on wood every day and thank God for blessings and the insight. When I was a very young person, 16, 17 years old, I remember, and what I remember most, Sister Jenna, is I wouldn't call it the divine light of God at that time, but when I reflect back on that experience and so many more, it's really the drive, the determination, the pure driven force inside of me was really the divine light of God. I see it now. I didn't see it then, but I always embraced it. I always knew that there was something special about me. I always knew that I could pretty much accomplish anything I set my mind to because, like your grandparents probably, my grandparents and my parents said anything I set my mind to that I could do. And growing up early, I believed them. And so I was always fortunate because of the grace of God and the blessings of God to be at the right place at the right time. And I'll give you an example. When I had my 2 sons early in life, by the time I was 19, I was a married lady with 2 children enrolled in a 4-year institution in Baltimore. And I had a lot of opportunities because through the blessings of God, academic material was not really a challenge for me. So I was, again, blessed by the goodness and the divine graciousness of God to have the intellectual ability that exceeded many of the students around me that got me noticed, really. I remember receiving a full scholarship to go to medical school, and I had no real interest in medicine. It was something about talking and speaking and being able to express the words and the feelings of others to others. Many times on the campus, college campus, students would approach me and say, Georgia, I wonder if you would go speak to the dean or the administrator because I'm having a problem. I could be expelled from school. And I asked, quite frankly, well, why me? And they said, because you just speak so well. You have a way about yourself. And sure enough, repeatedly I would go to the administrators and I would have success for the students. And one day a professor came over to me and he said, have you ever thought about going to law school? Well, back in the day, that was completely foreign to me, being an African-American female. It was just not in my realm of an experience. I had never seen an African-American attorney. I certainly had never seen an African-American female attorney. But something came alive in me, and sure enough, I ended up graduating from college and going straight to University of Maryland Law School, where for the first time in my academic and intellectual life, I was really challenged. So that series of events, one thought in my mind years ago that I can do anything that I want to do, really propelled me in the direction of being a lawyer and a fierce advocate for others. So that's kind of like a first stage of my life. I had wonderful parents. My father was everything, and my mother was everything to me. So I thank God from an early youngster that where I wasn't able at that time to put a language on the feeling and the experience I was having, but I could always feel, even though I could not cognitively put my brain around it at 18 and 19, I knew I was driven, and that drivenness in me was God-inspired.
There you go. And, for many individuals who might not have a bedrock of support when they find the unfolding of their lives, or becoming young parents or what have you, whether it's drug addiction, whether it's being accused of a heinous crime and you might not have even been present, a lot of folks don't have that to turn to. And so the fact that you were able to turn to that and still take it, receive it, because there are some who do and they don't receive it. They still go down the other road. One of the things I'd love for you to share with our listeners today, Georgia, is some life skills that you have cultivated in overcoming challenges and obstacles along the way. And then I want us to really talk about, the whole aspect of law and how we can learn more about that for ourselves. But just for now, give us like maybe 3 or 4 points that you have realized that are crucial in how you've lived your life and how to overcome challenges.
Well, there are numerous ones. I think one of the significant ones that everyone could benefit from, particularly youngsters who, whether they're guided by a great family like I had, and I wasn't the most prudent child. I mean, I didn't technically, quote, listen to my parents, but something I learned early, and I'm not sure where it came from. Somebody said to me once, somebody's always looking. Someone is always looking at you. And I have always found that to be true. So I always impart to youngsters and to anyone, if you take on a task, no matter how large or how small, how seemingly insignificant, always do the best that you can. Always put your heart into it. Always shine that silverware as though you're going to present it to the king. Always do the best because someone is looking. That leads and ties into what I call the hook of life, or a hook of life. If you do the very best that you can, someone is looking. And someone, because God blesses us through people, because we're all divinely interconnected. I always say to people, if you do the best that you can, someone is looking, someone will take notice. And before you know it, because you have done the best that you can, remember, when you do the best that you can, you're drawing in divine divinity, light, the goodness and the essence of God, because God is goodness, God is purity. When you do the best that you can and you shine a piece of silverware or whatever the task is, then you can hold that up and feel proud of that. That's the goodness. That's your connection to divinity. And your connectiveness to divinity in that one instance triggers your connection to others around you. When you do that, you will find that people will come to you, see you, acknowledge you, and present you with opportunities. That one lesson, always do the very best that you can, no matter what the task. When someone turns and walks away and you're left there alone, Do the best that you can as though they're standing there looking at you, and you'll always succeed because others will see you and others will present an opportunity. Another something I always share with anyone who's willing to listen, when you rise in the morning, the first thing I suggest that you do, and I've always done it, is just thank the universe. Be grateful. Experience a nice warm smile. Hug yourself. And don't be hard on yourself. Look in the mirror even and say, "Hi, beautiful. Oh, you're looking wonderful today. You're feeling wonderful today." Love yourself. Sometimes I think we're so hard on ourselves because we want to do this, we want to do that, but love yourself. Hug yourself, smile, and look at yourself and be grateful. I guess as women particularly, we always criticize. We look at ourselves and say, "Oh, my nose, my eyes." Remember, God created you, and God doesn't make mistakes. So love yourself in the beginning of the day, and during the course of the hecticness of the day, whether you're driving, you're on the subway, you're in line to grab a bite of, take a moment.
Right. It is, Georgia. It's powerful because they're so simple, and yet we let ourselves just get so consumed by the rat race and keep going. Now, you've had a successful career in law, and you continue to assist a lot of organizations. I know that I've even come to you for advice. A lot of people today feel overwhelmed, and they're confused and sometimes even afraid of the legal system, right? What are some legal situations that lead to disappointing and expansive consequences, which can easily be avoided with just a little information routinely overlooked?
Fine print.
Fine print, huh?
Fine print. The reason that the fine print is there is to share with you something that is either legally required or something that the seller doesn't want to be obvious to you. So if you take a moment, one of my mentors, I'll never forget, the Honorable William Murphy in Baltimore, Maryland, always said to me when he was mentoring me when I was studying law, if you see an asterisk or if you see a footnote at the bottom of the 500-page book that you're already struggling to read, if you see a footnote, get the footnote. Read the footnote, because in the footnote is a reference of valuable information. And I never forgot it, and it was always true. So whenever you're purchasing something, and now we have the advent of online purchasing, and so many times you'll see, just buy this item for $4.95 to cover the shipping and handling. Well, if you read the fine print, and sometimes you may need it to read it twice. Sometimes you need to print it and read it line by line, but you'll see many times they inform you that if you purchase this item, and you use it, you receive it, then before you know it, you're going to be automatically charged and automatically sent the same product 30 days later unless you are proactive and pick up the telephone and call this number to cancel. Many times we will be passive once we've received the item, and before we know it, as I have in the past experienced myself,
I was thinking that you must have went through this yourself.
Yeah, because when it first became a new phenomenon, I too, as much as I know about the law, I purchased an item, and before I knew it, I had another shipment coming, and I had not, at least consciously, was aware that I had purchased it because I was not proactive and did not call that number.
Good advice, good advice. Now, I know that you're passionate about reaching back and helping our youths. What tips would you offer our young people today? You know, they may be feeling a little bit lost and they need some direction, mentorship, and purpose. What would Georgia-h-Goslee tell our young folks today to prepare themselves for their tomorrows?
Well, the life skill of doing the best you can do whenever you're doing anything, but I think a stronger message to young people today is please find a mentor, a friend, a relative, a parent, someone who is older than you. Yes, they may be older and probably wiser. When you're a young person, You really, as much as you feel that you do, there are so many things that will confront you, and you'll have no idea of how to navigate it or manage it, even though you'll try, even though you may succeed in some situations. There's nothing like having a mentor. I've been practicing for many years, and I have a mentor today. So my advice to youngsters is do the best you can with whatever you're doing, but always seek someone with life experience who has your best interest at heart and seek advice.
Sounds beautiful. Georgia-h-Goslee, it was great having you on the air with me, and love your heart and wisdom and spirit. And before I let you go, leave with our listeners your favorite life quote and a website that they can get a hold of you if they're interested.
My website is georgia-h-goslee.com, and Georgia is spelled like the state, Georgia. Last name is Goslee, GOSLEE.com, georgia-h-goslee.com. And my favorite quote of life is summarized in one word, and that word is seek.
There you go. Seek and you shall find.
Seek and you shall find.
Yeah, don't lose your inquisitivity. Don't lose your interest to want to learn, right?
Yes, and be open, because many times we as human beings find ourselves and we live in our own comfort zone. But be open, inquire, always at least take a look. It doesn't mean that you're going to accept it. You could look and say, absolutely not. But you could look and say, oh, this is exactly what I was looking for. But you don't know when you're going to do until you at least take a look and seek.
Love it. Georgia-h-Goslee, thank you so very much.
Thank you very much, Sister Jenna, and have a wonderful, blessed day, and love and peace to your listening audience.
Thank you. Take care now. Wonderful word, isn't it? Seek. Seek. Don't ever give up looking or searching for your own life's purpose and sense of fulfillment. And also read the fine prints. Read the fine print so you don't get shackled, right? I hope you've enjoyed our conversation today on the air with Georgia-h-Goslee. For more information, just go to georgia-h-goslee, GOSLEE.com. And remember, no one can take away your happiness unless you give them permission. And we are here to love each other the same, so let's do that. We're going to end today's conversation with Lifted by Lucinda Drayton on her Bliss CD. Take care, everyone.